So welcome back friend. As we all studied simple vapor absorption system and practical vapor absorption system. So in this practical vapor absorption system, if I look at the heat involved, so I will find that there are 4 different types of heat are involved in the cycle in this system. First is heat QE, that is heat which is absorbed by the refrigerant in the evaporator, and this heat QE is also known as refrigeration effect. At a temperature T, means amount of heat absorbed in the refrigerator or in the evaporator is QE at a temperature T, and this is the heat QC. This heat is rejected from the condenser at a constant pressure, and this heat is rejected at a temperature of Tc, and this Tc is the surrounding temperature. And another heat is, that is QA, amount of heat rejected from the absorber. So this heat is QA and this heat is rejected at a temperature Ta. Generally heat rejected from absorber and condenser is at surrounding temperature, so both temperature we can say are same. And the fourth heat which is involved in this cycle is, in this system, is QG, amount of heat supplied to the heat generator to separate out ammonia vapor from the rich solution, and this heat is supplied at a constant temperature of Tg. So in this vapor absorption reference system, 4 heats are involved at different temperatures. So again, if I can repeat, then QE and TA are the heat absorbed in evaporator at temperature TE, QA and TA heat absorbed in absorber, heat rejected in absorber by absorbent at temperature TA, QG and TG heat supplied to heat generator at temperature TG. QC and TC are the heat rejected in condenser at temperature TC. So in this way, 2 heats are rejected, that is first in condenser and absorber, and 2 heats, that is Q and QG, are received, one in evaporator and another in heat generator. So as I told you that heat transfer in condenser and absorber takes place at a temperature Tc, so assuming total heat rejected as Qc at a temperature Tc. So from the first law of thermodynamics, we can write Qc equals to Qe plus Qg, and from the second law of thermodynamics, we can write Qe over Te plus Qg over Tg equals to Qc over Tc. So these are the 2 equations, and if we substitute the value of QC from equation 1, so this equation 1 becomes QE over TE plus QG over TG equals to QE over TC plus QG over TC. So this becomes equation number 3. So if I rearrange this equation number 3, then I get QE over TE minus QC over TC equals to QG minus TC minus QG over TG. So this becomes equation number 4. And on simplification of the equation number 4, we can get QG TG minus TC over TC into TG equals to QE TC minus TE over TE into TC. So here we can cancel out TC and we get heat supplied in the generator in the form of QE. QE and product of 2 terms. So one term is TC minus TE and the another term is TG over TG minus TC. So this is equation number 5. And as we know that a coefficient of performance of any reference system is the ratio of output over input. So in vapor compression system, output was refrigeration effect and the input was compressor work. Whereas in vapor absorption system, since we had replaced compressor by a combination of heat generator, absorber, pump, pressure reducing valve, so in this system the heat input which is being supplied to the system is heat supplied in the generator. So output of this vapor absorption system is QE, that is the refrigeration effect, and for achieving this refrigeration effect we have to give, or we have to supply heat QG in the generator. So COP is the ratio of QE over QG, and from equation 5 we can put the value of QG in equation number this. So this becomes COP equals to QE over QE, TC minus TE over TE, and this on. So COP becomes a product of two terms, and these terms are TE over TC minus TE and TG minus TC over TG. And we all know that TE is the temperature of the evaporator, TC temperature of the condenser, TG temperature of the generator. So if we know all the temperature, then we can calculate the coefficient of performance of a vapor absorption refrigeration system. So in equation number 7, if we look at first term, and thus that term is TE over TC minus TE. So if we recall the COP of a refrigerator working at temperature TE and TC, so that working in that Carnot refrigerator which is working at low temperature T and high temperature TC, so this first term means it is the coefficient performance of a Carnot refrigerator working at a temperature T and TC, and second term is TG minus TC and TG, and this is recalled as the efficiency of a Carnot heat engine working between TG and TC. So we can say an ideal coefficient of performance of vapor absorption refrigeration system is the product of a refrigerator, Carnot refrigerator working between the temperature of TE and TC, and Carnot heat engine working at a temperature of TC and TG. So now I will take one numerical on vapor absorption refrigeration system. The numerical is that in an absorption type refrigeration system, the heat supplied to NH3 generator by condensing steam at 2 bar and 90% dry. The temperature to be maintained in the refrigerator is -5 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the atmosphere is 30 degrees Celsius. Find maximum COP possible of the refrigerator. If the refrigeration load is 20 tons and actual COP is 70% of the maximum COP, find the mass of the steam required per hour. As we have already derived the COP for a vapor absorption system as TE over TC minus TE into TG minus TC over TG, where in the data it is TE is the temperature of the evaporator which is maintained at -5 degrees Celsius. We have to convert it into absolute temperature, that is 268 Kelvin, and condenser temperature is given as 30 degrees Celsius, and this temperature is also converted into absolute temperature as 303 Kelvin, and the steam supplied at 2 bar in the heat generator. So the temperature of the generator is the temperature of the saturation and temperature of steam at 2 bar. Since heat is supplied in the form of condensed steam, so we have to take the saturation temperature of steam at 2 bar. So from steam table it comes out as 119.6 degrees Celsius, that is 392.6 Kelvin. So now we can easily calculate COP maximum from this equation as 1.75 by putting all the values. So this is the COP maximum. In the question it is given that the actual COP is 70%, and we have to calculate the mass of steam supplied in the heat generator per hour if the refrigeration load is 20 tons. So for that we again calculate the actual COP, that is 70% of the maximum COP, that is it comes out as 1.225, and the refrigeration load is given as 20 ton of refrigeration, and we know that 1 ton of refrigeration equals to 3.5 kilowatt. So we have to convert 20 ton of refrigeration into kilojoule per second as 70 kilojoule per second. So this is the total refrigeration load which can be achieved in this vapor absorption system. And since actual COP is the ratio of refrigeration load to the actual heat supplied, therefore from there we can calculate actual heat supplied. And actual supplied is there. What is actual supplied? If the mass of steam supplied to the heat generator is ms in kilogram per second, and x is the dryness fraction of the steam at the inlet to the heat generator, and HFG is the latent heat of vaporization of steam at 2 bar. So since steam enters at 0.9 dry and leaves as saturated liquid, the amount of heat utilized in heat generator is x HFG per kilogram, and ms is the total mass of the steam supplied to the generator. Therefore the actual heat load will be ms x HFG. So from the steam table we can determine the value of HFG, and it comes as 2200 kilojoule per kilogram at 2 bar. And in the question it is given that dryness fraction of the steam is 0.9. So now we can put this value in this equation. So ms comes out as 0.0289 kilogram per second, or in terms of kilogram per hour, as in the question, it has to be multiplied by 3600. So it comes out as 104 kilogram per hour. So in this way we can solve any numerical related to the vapor absorption refrigeration system. Thank you very much.